Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your lake area love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio. We bring you The Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Today on the podcast, we continue our jump into the holiday season. After all, this week is a short week for most of us, and it includes feasting, shopping, and making merry. Last week, we had the honor of learning all about the Sandusky Christmas Market, which does kick off this Friday, and we recently updated our blog about all of the holiday market opportunities. Gideon Owens Holiday Market kicks off this Friday as well, so you can check out that blog at shoresandislands.com. If you love looking at sparkly lights, the lights on the North Coast in Sandusky, Eddie's Winter Wonderland in Port Clinton, and the lights before Christmas at the Toledo Zoo all either offer drive-through or walk-through or both light displays. The ice rink at Sandusky's Jackson Street Pier is now open, offering free skating and $5 skate rental. It's available Thursdays through Sundays through the end of the year. There are several holiday open houses and Santa Claus arrivals happening this weekend as well. Additionally, there is all of the fun surrounding the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry game, and we talked a little bit about that last week and some of the activities coming up this weekend surrounding that. You can find all of these awesome events and other fun things to do in the Shores and Islands region on our online calendar at shoresandislands.com. November episodes of The Shoreline are sponsored by Firelands Winery. Firelands Winery, celebrating 145 years of Ohio winemaking tradition, located on Bardshaw Road in Sandusky. Learn more at firelandswinery.com. So as we all know, Black Friday is this week, which is traditionally the busiest day of the holiday shopping season. But concurrent with that is Small Business Saturday, also known as Shop Small Saturday, which is a national movement that encourages consumers to support local retailers and aims to boost sales for those small businesses. Today on The Shoreline, we're featuring a small business owner operating two unique shops located in downtown Sandusky. Joining us as our special guest is Mike Hicks, co-owner of Henry Shops and Wild Thistle. Mike grew up in Muskegon, Michigan, and attended Central Michigan University. He studied broadcasting and media design, and he worked in theme parks for an art company for 16 years, which eventually led him to Sandusky in 2016, and he made the change to work for Cedar Point directly in 2020, and he has been working in the sign shop there ever since. And unfortunately, his partner Ryan Henry, is unavailable to join us on the podcast today, but a little bit of background on Ryan as well. He grew up in the Medina area and attended the Ohio State University's Extension campus in Worcester. He worked in greenhouse production and management after school, which led him to the Sandusky area. And around 2019, he also started working at Cedar Point and has been working in the landscaping department there. And they're busy, getting ready for next season over there. So I'm sure he's busy doing landscaping things. I don't want to give too much of Mike's story away because we're going to get into our interview shortly, but just a little bit of background. Henry Shops was started in 2018 when Ryan was looking to start building a retail business. He started finding and bringing in handmade products and gemstones and selling them at area markets. In 2020, he started filling open spots at the farmers market that takes place weekly in downtown Sandusky. But during the winter months, he would do pop-ups in different rental spaces in the marketplace in downtown Sandusky. And then at the end of 2023, he was made aware of an opportunity to take over a space in the marketplace, which is where Henry's currently lives. So Ryan and Mike made the move to establish a brick and mortar location in 2024, and now Mike is going to tell us all about it. Welcome to The Shoreline, Mike.
Thanks for having me, Jill. It's great to be here.
Great. Well, thank you again for being here. I can't wait to hear you talk about Henry Shops and all of the fun things you guys got going on over there. Just give us a little bit of the background. How did you and Ryan become inspired to open a business in downtown Sandusky, and a little bit about how the concept evolved from the farmer's market idea to actually having a brick and mortar?
Yeah, I wish Ryan was able to make it because he really has led the way in this. But what he always tells me is he just really loves creating a space where people can find something fun and unique. So that's kind of where it started. And he saw that he could pull it off and do it. So he just started kind of small and working on it. And eventually we were able to look downtown. And we're both transplants to Sandusky, but we really love living here. And I've really enjoyed the community and watched it grow over the last decade.
So I do know that the booth or the tent or whatever you would call it, the space that you had at the farm market was always super popular, and you kind of grew a customer base. So you kind of knew that you would have some built-in customers.
Oh, yeah. Sandusky has been extremely supportive from day one. We used to set up at the farmer's market and haul everything into the grass for a couple years. And then Ryan was there and he's like, man, it's taking us an hour to pack up and a couple hours to set up. And we just keep selling stuff. And so he kind of looked at a spot on the street and was like, well, there's no parking spots. What if I build a trailer? So we talked with the market manager and asked about creating a spot. And so we built a trailer, and that sped things up. And the community really responded well and was super supportive. And then they were extremely supportive when we moved in to the brick and mortar spot in the marketplace.
Yeah, and your business is right at the entrance. So you have an outdoor window that you can merchandise and a whole parking lot. You've got lots of parking.
Yeah, we look right across the street at you guys.
Yeah, so easy to get to. Well, tell me a little bit about the kinds of products that you carried at the farm market, and do you still carry all of those same products in the store? And like, what is the vibe that you guys are aiming for with Henry's?
So one thing that Ryan always says is he looks for unique things. We try to do handmade as much as possible. We did a lot of crystals, which aren't necessarily handmade, I guess if they're shaped, but made in the earth and dug out by hands. And we have a lot of all of that still. We've got 3 spinners of crystals and gemstones and some display cabinets and a bunch of jewelry. So we've had all that since the farmer's market. We've got some leather, handmade like purses and coin purses and little wallets that we've had since then. And we continue to carry. We've always had some different lotions. We don't use the same goat company that we did before. They went real big box stores. So we've got a veteran out of Virginia that has a goat farm. And he uses the goat milk from his farm to make all of the products. And he always tells us that instead of powdered goat milk, like a lot of the big brands use, he uses the milk from the goats, not in a powdered form.
Oh, interesting. So that's a line of products that you carry at Henry's.
Correct. Yep. We still have that.
What other kinds of things did you add when you expanded into the actual brick and mortar location?
The big thing we added were kind of your normal tourist kind of gift shop things with the apparel and stickers and magnets, some drinkware. We also found a company out of Minnesota, and they hand throw all of their mugs. They make ceramic mugs. And so we've got a couple different designs we work with them on. So we've got our own logos that we've designed with them. And we actually work with you guys, and we have a Lake Erie Love one. So we've got different coffee mugs that we carry that are really nice.
Yeah. And I would say that, prior to you guys being here, that was a request that we got often at the Welcome Center is folks visiting downtown Sandusky. Where can I pop in quickly to get a souvenir? I love Sandusky, or I'm having so much fun. Do we have anywhere that sells things that are reminiscent of the area? And so that's something that's like a niche that you guys helped fill for this area is now we've got, hey, right across the street, there's a beautiful gift shop. They've got some really fun, unique items, but then they also carry some of those more traditional souvenir, Sandusky themed items.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. And looking to start something in Sandusky, as it was going, we saw that there was not a complete hole, but some space, in the downtown to provide that for people coming to the area. So that's one thing, that we've looked to do. We try to keep a balance between tourist gifts and stuff for the locals because we just love the community. So we always want to make sure that we're balancing that both in price points and offerings that we have.
So how do you guys decide what products you're going to carry in your store? How do you find the folks that are, how do you find the goat farm in Virginia? How do you find these folks that are making amazing handmade items?
Every year we go down to the Smoky Mountains in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg. There's a trade show. And so we can meet all kinds of people. So that's where we met the goat farmer, and that's where we've made touch base with the ceramic company in Minnesota. And we also found a lady who makes a bunch of really nice hard lotions. They're all beeswax. They're a great scents that we carry. They're small businesses that we try to look for and work with. Really excited. We've got a lady up in Ann Arbor who does watercolor paintings of Great Lakes wildflowers and plants. And so we've got a whole card line and some posters and a perpetual calendar that we're bringing in with her. We just met her this year.
Oh, that's very cool. So you're coming up on 2 years in that location for Henry's. Do you have any idea kind of what are your most popular items or what your best sellers are?
It really ranges different times of the year. But the one thing that's always selling well are sweatshirts. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it's 100 degrees in the summer or freezing cold in the winter. It seems like the sweatshirts are always moving.
Oh.
And everything else kind of ebbs and flows. In the fall, we carry incense, which we've carried from the beginning as well. Wild berry out of Oxford, Ohio. They're all handmade. Those really pick up. The winter, the lotions really go well. It kind of ebbs and flows, but the sweatshirts are always popular.
That's really interesting, but I'm not surprised because maybe it was cooler than they anticipated it being and they need something to warm up, or a sweatshirt just makes a really good souvenir because you're going to wear it year round. There's cooler days in the summer that you can wear it, or maybe they're not from here, maybe they're from a cooler climate, or also makes great gifts. I think a sweatshirt is like a good solid item. Even with t-shirts, sometimes you just have way too many of them, or t-shirts, hats, things like that. So I could see why a sweatshirt would be a little bit more popular there.
Yeah, I think I've just had a couple people in the shop from the desert Southwest Arizona that were like, do you have this in a t-shirt? I can't wear a long sleeve or a sweatshirt. And I was like, unfortunately, I don't.
Well, occasionally that happens.
Yeah.
Speaking of summer items and clothing, this past summer, you guys opened a second shop there in the marketplace, so in the same shopping area, and it's called Wild Thistle. What inspired you to open a second business rather than expanding your product lines in your original store?
It really came down to, in Henry's, we really liked the location and loved all of the neighbors that we have there in the marketplace with Wake Up and Waffle and Halo and Bakery, and Scoops is kind of down the hallway, and Axes. And, we saw one that Henry's wasn't big enough to handle the apparel demand that we were seeing. And we saw that there was still room downtown for maybe a second different kind of shop than what we wanted Henry's to be. Where Henry's, we want more of that unique gift, and we're keeping the Lake Erie Love and the Sandusky specific stuff in there. And then the generic Great Lakes and lake clothing that was really popular. We talked to the marketplace management and worked something out. And we just wanted to make the marketplace a bit more shoppable. There's been some empty storefronts in there for a while, here and there. And so we just were like, well, let's just move this down and just make the whole space a little bit more shoppable, more of a destination, along with all of our great neighbors that we have in there.
Well, that's fantastic because the marketplace is really, it's such a fantastic location, and it does seem to kind of be underutilized a little bit. And if you've not been, listeners, you really need to check out the marketplace because not only are there some great vendors in there, some great retailers, some great dining. I mean, just the location itself is almost like a museum. I mean, there's so much interesting Sandusky history on the walls and in the hallways and in the decor as you're going from place to place, that in and of itself, the marketplace is really such a treasure. So you opened a second store. Where does the name Wild Thistle come from?
Everyone asks us that because it's not the most on the nose name for a kind of a lake apparel store. But Ryan really, really liked the name. He was kind of throwing a few around, and we like to garden.
Sure. He's got that background.
And we cannot get rid of the wild thistle in our yard. And we figure if the business can grow like the wild thistles, we'll be in a great, great position. to kind of make the next move in our lives.
That is a fantastic story. I love that.
Yeah, so I know on its face, Wild Thistle does, people are kind of like, what's this? And it's like, it's just a fun name.
If it grows like it does in your yard, you know you're in business.
Yeah. And we also knew, I mean, Henry's kind of had that like leaf logo because we were kind of keeping it open in the early days because we've talked about getting into plants and that kind of stuff. But we haven't, I think Sandusky has that covered, as you look around. And we weren't kind of sure how Wild Thistle would go. And so we're like, well, if we keep it kind of generic and we don't make it a specific lake theme, we can pivot. Mm-hmm. And so then, yeah, those are kind of the two reasons that Wild Thistle got its name.
What other product lines are you carrying at that store that are different than at Henry's?
One of the big things that Ryan found is kind of a pearl experience jewelry line that we brought in. So again, we met this guy down in Virginia, and we get in these saltwater pearls, and you pick a pendant. We've got necklaces right now, looking to expand into rings next year. Where you pick a pendant out, and then you pick an oyster, and right there in the store, we'll open it up for you, clean it, and set the pearl in the necklace. And some people wear it right out the door, and some people have us box it back up. But it's really cool, and it's been very popular. We had some Halloween pendants, during the Halloween festivities as Sandusky grows, that October Halloween offerings. And then we also have, this year for Christmas, we're excited, we've got a couple of ornaments. We have a snowflake and a Christmas tree. And some people will just get them, you can get them as gifts, take them home and do it yourself. We've had families come in and they got stuff and they've got people coming in town and there's something they were going to do together. And some people come in and they have us open it up. But it's been a really cool line there.
That is really fun. I know you're not from Ohio, but being a Cedar Point guy, you probably have heard or remember there being SeaWorld.
Yes, I went to SeaWorld once.
Did you do the Pearl experience there?
I didn't, but Ryan's told me about it. So I think that SeaWorld...
I figured he knew.
Yeah, he grew up over there and they went to Geauga and SeaWorld.
Yeah, so I remember going there, as a kid, and they had a similar thing there where I think that somebody would like dive into a tank to get your oyster, but the same kind of thing. You would open the oyster right there to see your freshwater pearl, and some of them they come in like different shades, they could be colors or more gray or more opalescent, and then you would find something fun in the gift shop to have it set into. So I love that you guys are doing that. That is so like nostalgic for me.
Yeah, it's been really fun. And so we kind of keep it a little water-based. It is kind of hard to find Great Lakes specific things when we have so much coastline in this country, and that's what, a lot of vendors can cater their wares to. So sometimes we go a little bit water-based in Wild Thistle.
Yeah, but we love all the Great Lakes. You being from Michigan,
yes.
You've probably, always been surrounded by water. And, I love supporting all of the Great Lakes communities as well. So you can get your kind of Sandusky specific gear at Henry's, and then I love all the Great Lakes Midwest kind of stuff at Wild Thistle.
Oh yeah. I grew up Muskegon is a very similar to Sandusky kind of town, right on Lake Michigan. So definitely grew up near the water, and I always love working in the shops because a lot of our Great Lakes stuff has just the lakes, and they just happen to also make the state of Michigan. And they'll be like, you're in Ohio, why do you have Michigan product? And it's like, well, it's Great Lakes, and I'm from Michigan, so I'm a little partial.
We have a lot of people that travel here from Michigan, so I'm sure that it sounds just fine.
It is, yeah. And once people think about it, they're like, oh yeah, it's all Great Lakes because they're just amazing. And I lived not near here for a while, and I just don't know if I could imagine not living right near the lakes.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned the Halloween time, the fall frame, where you guys had some special products we had the Sandusky Witches Walk down here in downtown Sandusky in October, and you guys had some special products made just for that weekend. I'm sure that those items were probably pretty popular as well.
Oh yeah. Ryan came up with the Sandusky Witches Union Local 419, which has been extremely popular the last couple of years. We've done it in t-shirts and sweatshirts and long sleeves and buttons and magnet. People really have gravitated to it. We were cauldron stops for the Witches Walk this year. So we knew we wanted to have something special for both. And we didn't want to do the Union and Bull shops. We try to keep them separate. A lot of people locally know that we have both, but we try to keep them feeling different. And so Ryan came up with a North Coast Coven crew sweatshirt and t-shirt that is still really popular. We've left it out, the little bit that we have left over. And yeah, people have loved it. And October and the Witches Walk has been great for us.
That's good.
Down there.
I also love to see you contributing to the overall vibe of downtown Sandusky. I know you're not originally being from here, but you've been here for long enough to kind of see the revival of downtown Sandusky. How do you guys, having both your shops here in downtown and being a part of the community, how do you guys see your businesses as contributing to that overall kind of like upswing and what's happening in downtown Sandusky?
Yeah, I've been here for around a decade, so I've seen the transformation, I think, from its earlier days. I don't know, I can't put a pinpoint as to when the hard work really started for people here. And, Ryan's been here around the same time, and we just love being a part of it and being able to help contribute to the growth. I kind of wanted to always be a part of in my hometown, but I just happened to be here. And I think it provides another cog in the wheel for when attracting people downtown. A ton of people come and hit Cedar Point and hit some of the other great destinations that are in the area that make up all of the shores and islands and this great vacation area for the state of Ohio and the Midwest. But they don't always make it downtown. And so if we can provide another reason for people to come down and see how great it is down there and all of the hard work that people have put in, it makes it special for us.
Yeah, and you guys are in the marketplace, which, we mentioned is right across the street from the Shores and Islands Welcome Center. And you have it's almost like a little shopping mall in that there are several different entrances. We mentioned Henry's being right at the parking lot entrance, but then there's also a Market Street entrance. And then I believe you can also get to it off of Columbus Avenue, correct?
Yes, that entrance wasn't used a lot, but we've been putting a sign out there, and it really has helped. Ever since we opened Thistle, we started pulling people in. And that takes you through more history that people don't see, right past all the H2 management offices and stuff. And you come in by axes and land at Wild Thistle, and then you can continue back down the hallway towards Henry's and Waffles.
And Scoops is right there as well, the new ice cream shop. So, if people are stopping for ice cream, they might see your signage and wander in.
Yeah, Scoops has been great to have up there at that end. They're not really in the marketplace, but they've been participating. It feels like they're part of the family in the marketplace.
Oh, well, that's great. So you've had Henry's there for 2 years, Wild Thistle just this year. What are some of the challenges that you guys have faced since launching both concepts? And or conversely, has there been any great surprises?
I think some of the challenges that are kind of what everybody sees, it gets so sleepy during the winter and trying to balance that, with wanting to be open and, finding hours, because we try to mirror with the other businesses in the marketplace, but sometimes it just gets real slow, if nothing's really going on or something's pulling people. I think that's been some of the hardest, if I'm going to be honest, is just kind of the seasonality of downtown. Surprises, though, just maybe how many people from all over the country. You don't think about it always, but I've met people from almost every state walking through the store. We were lucky to be open for the eclipse, which was amazing.
Yes.
It was so busy and a great time to be in Sandusky.
It really was. That was special, and for you guys to be open in time for that. People came from everywhere for that, but people do come from everywhere. Not just because of Cedar Point, but a lot of downtown events like the Eclipse Festival, like Ohio Bike Week, like the Tommy Boy Festival that we had this past summer, and Ohio and Witches Walk, and then the event that kicks off this weekend with the Sandusky Christmas Market. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the holiday season because this Saturday is Shop Small Saturday, and I know that the downtown Sandusky vendors are primed and ready and doing lots of fun special events. I think there's even some additional vendors coming in to the marketplace for the weekend. So do you guys have anything special planned or any other fun new products that people should check out?
So we've gotten a few more holiday things in. We're trying to get in from our past, venture down to that where we were, purchasing show. And so we're still waiting on some of that stuff. We've got some neat items, some winter hats and kind of some pullovers for both shops that we're hoping to get in time for the holiday and winter shopping season. But for Small Business Saturday, we're going to set up a table that will have $5, $10, and $20 items. So we're putting some stuff on sale.
Nice.
So we'll have that right outside of Henry's shops. And then Ryan's going to be set up. We're going to bring our rock sluice from the market when we did the farmer's market. So he's going to be in there with a lot of other vendors that they're bringing in and businesses for Small Business Saturday. And I believe there's a promo going on where if you collect so many stamps in your passport, I don't have all the details yet, but I think you can get a Sandusky hat.
I also don't remember what the details are, but we'll be sure to put that on our website and cover on our social media. But I think it's like if you spend $20 in 5 different downtown locations, that seems to be sticking out to me. And then obviously you would keep your receipts and show those to get the Sandusky hat. So that's pretty cool because I believe even gift cards help count towards that. So you can get gift cards to different restaurants and buy some gifts and buy some fun things for yourself.
Yeah, that sounds about right what I heard. I just wasn't sure on the details for the redeeming aspects to get your hat. It makes me want to go though.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And then, with the market, the Christmas market, we're really excited for that to be back again. We're going to extend our hours during all the weekends that those are going on. So Ryan and I will be in the shops.
Wonderful.
Trying to match. Anytime there's an event, we try to match our hours and push them if it's happening outside of when we're regularly open.
That's a great idea. And you talked about the Pearl experience, which I think is really neat and unique. Do you have any other items in either of your shops that you think would make good holiday gifts this season?
We've got lots of different jewelry. Henry's has some really cool carved knives that have been really popular. Those have come in from France. Oh. So it's a little bit different than a lot of this stuff, but it's a really unique kind of gift item. But then we also in Thistle, we work with a different goat milk line in that shop for soaps and lotions. And Beekman is the name. And they partnered with Hershey's. So we've got some special Christmas Hershey peppermint bark and chocolate scented lotions and soaps that are in the shape of Hershey Kisses and chocolate bars. And
fun.
They're pretty fun.
That sounds like that could be good for kids too, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think it's gotten, a pretty fun response when people see it.
Encourages them to up their hygiene, I hope.
Yeah.
But hopefully they're not eating it.
Right, yeah. We do make sure we tell people this is soap and not chocolate sauce.
Yeah. Of course. Well, those sound like some really fun gift ideas, and people should come in and check out both of your shops. So it sounds like the hours maybe are going to be a little different, but kind of what are your regular hours right now, not counting the extended hours you're doing for the Christmas markets?
For the winter, we're open Thursdays through Mondays. Thursdays, Sundays, and Mondays is 10 to 4 p.m. And Fridays and Saturdays are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay, but they'll be later on the weekends when the Christmas market is happening.
Correct, yeah. So we'll match the Christmas market operating hours. And then we'll be open Black Friday and then Small Business Saturday as well. So,
Mike, just kind of on a personal note, you said you've been here about a decade. What do you love about living and operating a business here in the Shores and Islands region?
I think it's just the community. Being able to be in the farmers market and just meet so many great people It's been such a welcoming and fun community to be a part of. And I think it's a real gem in the Great Lakes of an area. I knew of Cedar Point, and we'd come here when I was younger, but I didn't realize just how many great things and great people are really here. And so we've really enjoyed making our life together here.
Well, that's wonderful. And do you have any, local favorite places that you guys like to go and hang out? Like if friends were visiting from out of town, where are you going to take them?
Being in the marketplace, I probably eat way too much Wave Up and Waffle and Bakery. And some may say that you can never have enough. So we do swing through there because we're always in the shops. Other local favorites. It is hard sometimes between 2 full-time jobs and 2 shops. It does fill our time quite a bit. So we do like having those options. So we've been downtown and we try everybody. Been to all the great restaurants that are downtown. We also get out to Danny Boy's quite a bit, and then we'll make our way out onto Catawba and have some of the great places out there, like the Orchard.
Oh, fantastic, the Orchard. Well, where can our listeners find you? Where can they find more information on you if they're looking online? Do you have websites, social handles, that kind of thing? Where can people find all of the details about Henry Shops and Wild Thistle?
We primarily just stick to our Facebook pages. Okay. Ryan handles those. So Henry Shops and Wild Thistle on Facebook and Henry Shops on Instagram are the 2 main places that you'll find. Facebook is where all the hours and all the new product gets shown off and shared.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and happy holidays. I hope you guys have an amazing holiday season and lots of folks come out and check you out.
Thank you so much for having us, Jill. It's been great, and hope you guys have a wonderful holiday season as well.
All right. Thank you. Well, special thanks to Mike Hicks of Henry Shops and Wild Thistle for joining us on the Shoreline today. And a reminder that all of November's episodes are brought to you by Firelands Winery, history and heritage in every sip. So extra special thanks to Firelands Winery for their continued support. As always, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes of the podcast, online at shoresandislands.com. And we will see you next time on the Shoreline.